everyone, welcome to Bible Verse Breakdown. I'm Ewaenruwa Nomaren, and today we're going to be looking at Luke chapter 21, verse 34. So without further ado, let's get into it. This, by the way, is one of many significant warnings Jesus Christ gave us about our time. Anyway, that was where he stated, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares." So, in case a lot of these terms are new for you, surfeiting is basically like excess, excess of food and wine and so on, partying, riding, all those kinds of stuff. That's like physical surfeiting. But, Jesus Christ was a spiritual man, so most of his statements were not referring to physical things. So really, he was talking about always wanting to be a part of a hype. When you see something trendy and popular in the world, always wanted to participate in it, always wanted to be a part of what everyone's talking about and what everyone's going on. Basically, when you see something big, you want to be a part of it, jumping on the bandwagon, kind of. Then spiritual drunkenness is about you basically misbehaving, that is, going against the principles of God. Physical drunkenness is very embarrassing. You begin to do things that sensible people won't. Maybe you'll walk very funny or say hi to a rock or some other, dumb thing. And the way the spirits see the way we veer off God's principles and begin to do stuff that basically won't really benefit our lives. The government or the institutions of this world might make it think like they'll benefit us somehow, but in reality they won't. For example, in Luke chapter 17 from verses 26 to 30, Jesus Christ used the days of Noah and the days of Lot to try to explain how spiritual drunkenness works. People were doing this, they were doing that, they were eating, they were drinking, there might have been leaders, there was all kinds of stuff happening until all of a sudden it all ended. By the time the flood came for the days of Noah, or by the time the fire came in the days of Lot, all of a sudden all of that just ended. The reason why they couldn't realize that was because of spiritual drunkenness. They were misbehaving. They were doing all kinds of stuff that would not benefit their own lives. There was disorder. There was lack of integrity and all other kinds of things. And they thought that that was the best way to live. In other words, they were deluded, according to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verses 11 and 12. And then cares of this life is basically always worrying about how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that concerning the things of the world. For example, you see people are taking mortgages. You see people are, getting fine houses. You see that the standards of the world are growing. There's a certain expectation people have of you concerning what kind of degree you're supposed to have, or how many children you're supposed to have, or what kind of schools that people expect. Those kinds of basic standards that people are always talking about. Whereas the spiritual things, you don't really regard them. Those are cares of this life. And Jesus Christ spoke about that in Matthew chapter 6 from verses 25 to 33. About how people generally will forget about that, but Christians are supposed to seek the things of God the way people who don't know God seek for the things of the world. And basically, the fact of the matter is, when institutions are trying to sell us using our freedom to do whatever we like, we can marry the way we want, regardless of what the Bible says, and other things in that direction, Jesus Christ said we shouldn't be carried away by all those kinds of things. Otherwise, by the time he would return, we would really have absolutely no idea, because as Jesus Christ said in Matthew chapter 24 from verses 48 to 41, we would be eating and drinking with the drunken. That is, making alliances with political leaders, that is the spiritual leaders that are supposed to be leading us, trying to guide us to God. Instead, they're making alliances with political leaders. And if you look at the Christian age, from AD 325 straight down to the 19th century, we could see that that was the system that was in place at that time. And basically, Jesus Christ was saying we shouldn't, fall for that and just generally go with what everyone else is doing. Otherwise, by the time he would return, by the time he would take down that system, if we believe in that system, then we're going to be taken down with it. Just as how when Abiram, Dathan, and Korah were taken down, then all the others who believed in him were also taken down because they didn't believe in Moses, the person who God had sent in Numbers chapter 16. So the fact of the matter is we have to be spiritually attentive. We have to watch and pray. We have to be sober, according to 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7, and Luke chapter 21, verse 36, so that we can understand what God is doing and not be overtaken by events. And that is where I'm going to stop on discussing that verse, Luke chapter 21, verse 34, which once again reads, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares." If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when we come out with our next verse breakdown. Have a great day. God bless you.